Okay, g'day my friends. Today we're going to do another video, and today we're going to overlook the Honda XR250R that I've got, and give you a little bit of a rundown on what she does and how she works, and what a labour of love it was to bring her back to life. Alright, let's show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here she is. Honda XR250R in a very used farm state, but she runs like a spinning top. Not everything's original, as some of you will notice. There's some bits off of other Hondas here, but it works, and that's the main thing. Okay, this bike is an enduro bike. In some of my other videos you would have heard me mention, when I was mentioning about tyre tubes and that enduro bikes have bead locks inside the tyres which hold the tyres from spinning on the rim. I'll show you what I'm talking about here somewhere. If I can find it, there it is. It's that little fella right there. It's not a valve, that's a bead lock. Squeezes the tyre onto the rim and stops it from slipping around. There's the valve there, and you'll notice that I have the nut on the valve undone right up to the valve cap there. There's a reason for that. If the tyre does happen to spin at low pressure for whatever the reason, it can pull the valve through with it up to there, which gives it a little bit of leeway that you might notice that it's pulling, and be able to reset it without it pulling the valve out of the tyre and giving you a really bad time, because that's the last thing you want out bush if you can. I got this bike as a non-running wreck, if you will, and over the years I've done it up a bit and added to it. Took me ages to find the side cover here, but I finally found that one, and got the engine running all just nice and everything, and yeah, she's a great little goer. I use her on the farm here, and made the little windscreen up there, which helps to keep the wind off your chest a little bit. She runs off the alternator, so the lights light up with the alternator and everything when you start her up. You've got a unique thing, oil cooler there, which keeps the oil in the engine nice and cool. Couple of little add-ons I put for out on the trail. Here's some little carry bags, ex-Australian military ammo pouches and stuff like that. They're handy for carrying your water and all that stuff, and some little brackets that I made up. That one's moved, that I made up to stop it from going on the exhaust. So yeah, she's a pretty good bike. It's got disc brakes all round, so very much stoppy. No problem there whatsoever. Actually, I've got a watch coming off of some of my British bikes with drum brakes, and then jumping on this, I pulled the brake on and nearly put myself over the handlebars. Yeah, there's the front disc. That's okay. That wasn't working when I first got the bike. I had to re-bleed that system and fix this hand unit up, and but it all works now and it's all fine. I'll take the helmet off and we'll fire her up and give you a little bit of a listen. Bear with me while I do this. I just got to make sure it's in neutral, which it's not. It is now. So we'll fire her up and see what she does. Fuel on. Choke on. Here we go. Bit of a listen. If she'll fire up. Idles later videos I'll put the chest camera belt on and take you for a spin around the paddocks on it. See what you think. These XRs are very, very good bikes. Honda did not muck around with these things. It really, really made them so they would do what it is you wanted them to do. I'm quite confident you could cross Australia on this thing, deserts and all. She'd take it, she'd do it, no problem whatsoever. Sometimes the things made back in the 70s and 80s were the best things out there, and this is no exception. For those who are wondering, yes, it's oil in sump, not oil in frame. You'll notice it hasn't got the little cap just here to fill the frame up. It's got it down here. So yeah, it's the best type as far as I'm concerned. Not sure of this oil in frame stuff. Weird. But no, 250 cc's of pure joy. This one I will be selling later on, so some lucky bugger will end up with it and can have heaps and heaps of adventures on it. I need to put cash to some of my other bikes like the British ones and that, so yeah, need some extra money. But at the moment, in our economic climate, it is, yeah, anyone's guess with what will sell and what won't. People just don't have the money anymore, unfortunately. Cost of living, thank you Mr. Albanese, is yeah, not too good for people. I think it's around the world as well, they're also feeling it. Not good, but all you can do is ride motorcycles and enjoy life. Yep, that's my way out of it anyway. Yeah, so things that need doing to the bike. The Speedo's not original and actually not connected at the moment, it's just sitting there, so it needs a new Speedo. It did come with the block here for all your switch gear and indicators and stuff like that, but I took that out at the moment because it was just a rat's nest of wires, so yeah, I got rid of it for the time being. I got it up in the shed, but yeah, it wasn't my thing. I find on these bikes, on this one, having the shocky oil reservoir set on about halfway seems to be a good sort of compromise for your rear suspension. That's good. Only thing I had to do after I brought the bike is because I got duck syndrome, is I had to lower the shock here a little bit because the bike was way up in the air and I just couldn't reach the ground, so I've lowered the shock quite substantial. So for you tall riders, yeah, perfect bike. Just wind that shock absorber right out and there you are, you're high up in the air. It's amazing how much it actually lifts that rear end swing arm. It's or lowers it in this case and raises the bike. They're pretty straightforward bikes. The only problem I've had with it so far is I need to get the special spanner that you get the spark plug out of there with, because that sucker's way down there and every spark plug spanner I've got is too wide to fit in there to get the spark plug out. So yeah, I haven't been able to do anything with the spark plug at this point, but I'll find one. And then we'll do it. At the moment she's not giving me any grease, so I'm not touching it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, cobber. Okay, it does have a new Speedo drive there, but it hasn't got the cable up to the Speedo. That's why the Speedo doesn't work. The shock absorbers are, they're absolutely brilliant. They just soak up anything. They're air assisted, so you can pump air into them and give them even more cushion, if you will. So yeah, these bikes were really designed to do some pretty heavy work, and the fuel tank just starting to show its age with these light surface cracks. It's not leaking or anything, it's just light surface cracks. Plastic, after it gets about, what, nearly 30 years old or something, yeah, it tends to go crazy crack like that, unfortunately. Chain and the rear wheel, super simple to get off. They really thought about that sort of thing. You can change it in the bush, no problem whatsoever. Change a tyre or a tube if you want, and it's all good. So far in the years I've had the bike, I really haven't had too much of a problem with the chain. It's probably due to be changed soon. I've probably gone a bit past it needs to be changed, but yeah, we can do that, get a new chain for it and that. On these bikes, because they're very off-road orientated and everything like that, it is a really good idea to make sure you grease all these grease nipples that are in under here. It greases all the Pro-Link suspension units and stuff like that, keeps them all nice and good, and that way they will not fail on you, so it's good. Accessing the air filter, it's not rocket science. Gets in here. The tape's on there because the silly previous owner at some point drilled holes in. It's a bit of a fallacy. People think, oh yeah, it lets more air in and everything like that. Yeah, okay, but you have to rejet the entire carburetor once you do it, or else the bike will not run properly. When I first got this bike, I couldn't get it to run on anything but full choke. So I patched them up and she runs like a top now. The filter's about due for a clean. It's not too hard to get these out. Chunk. Pull it out. And there you have one air filter. It's bathed in oil at the moment, the proper oil and everything like that you need to do with those things. Pop it back on there when you get it right. Hard to do things one-handed. You've heard 50 million YouTubers say that, I suppose. There we go, there she is. I just need two hands to do this. Bear with me. You can have a look at the scenery. There we go. Yeah. I hope it's nice scenery that you're looking at. It's alright, a bit rude to do that to you. You're probably looking at more sky than scenery. Okay, I'll put that other piece back on in a sec once I finish talking to you guys. And there you have it. Yeah, I basically carry little bits and pieces in here, tyre irons and things like that, water bottles, that sort of stuff, bit of munchies for on the trails, and yeah, he does me for what I want. He's pretty good. Tyres, good knobbly off-road tyres, they do the job, and you can pretty much pick these up from anywhere. This is just a Chengxin sort of thing from China, but it seems to be doing the job. However, it does need to be replaced soon. You can see the paraffin cracking. It's been on there for a few years now, so yeah, I'm not surprised. So that will be the next thing I do, is get a new tyre for it at the front. And the rear one seems to be holding up quite substantially better. Jeez. She's a good tyre. What's she? She's a Vulcan Enduro. Yeah, been a good tyre. This one, it's got plenty of grip, throw stuff about. Lovely type of stuff. Yeah. So, and the big Spandau machine gun type exhaust on these things. It does the job. You've heard the bike run, so you've heard what that does. Being a rear disc brake, it does have a hydraulic system there that you've got to check and make sure is okay, and bleed every now and then, every 12 months or so, and change the fluids, and she'll look after you. It's got a lovely little feature. If you happen to flood the engine, you'll notice it has two handles here. What's this one for? Okay, this one is a decompression lever. So if you flood the bike, you can put it in neutral, pull this fella in, kick the bike a couple of times. That will spit any of the fuel, excess fuel out the exhaust. Then you let it go, and then you give it a couple more kicks and she's away. So that's a way to stop yourself from flooding the bike and being stuck in the middle of the boonies. So it's a bloody good thing. I like it. A bike I'll be introducing you to in my next video will be a XL250R, and that one hasn't got that lever. It's got this sort of arrangement here that goes to the Kickstarter, and is also a decompression button, if you will, for when you first go to start the bike. Okay, but this one's got this extra one that gives you that big advantage when you're up in the bush and you do inevitably flood the engine. So yeah, it's good. No, Japanese definitely knew how to make a good quality motorcycle. I mean, here we are 30 odd years later and she's still kicking around a farm doing what she's meant to do. You can't get better than that. One day I'll get around to getting a new seat cover for it and stuff, but, before I sell it, and she'll look all good and brilliant. So yeah, it's lovely. And she's the main bike that's made these tracks around my farm. I spend hours out here just pottering around with my son. He rides the red one that you're about to meet in the next video, and yeah, we have a lot of fun. Might even chuck a video of that up on for you to have a look at, like that. Okay, so don't forget, if you like the video, to press the like on the thing, and subscribe if you want to get any more of my videos. Hopefully I haven't bored you to tears too much. But if you're into motorbikes and you're into this sort of thing, then yeah, this should be tickling your fancy, I think. Okay, alright guys, I think we're just about there. So, one last look at my ugly mug. Till next time, have a good one. Like I said, like, subscribe, do all that funky stuff, and it should be good. Thanks guys, have a good one.